Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Manuel Arnaud, and I am the editor-in-chief of Vogue Arabia. Welcome to our new web series, In Conversation With, where we are going to have uplifting and optimistic chats with some of the finest members of the fashion, culture, and entertainment industries. Today's guest is a Grammy-nominated artist who has sold more than 37 million singles worldwide, taking over the charts as a solo artist and as the lead singer of the Pussycat Dolls. She's also an accomplished actor and TV personality, gracing some of today's biggest talent shows, including The Masked Singer, Australia's Got Talent, and The X Factor in the UK. She's a Disney princess, and outside of her work in the entertainment industry, she's an ambassador for UNICEF and a global ambassador for the Special Olympics. After launching a new single with the Pussycat Dolls in February, React, Nicole Scherzinger is ready to take over the world. So on that note, I would like to ask the beautiful and talented Nicole to please join me.
Hi!
Hello, Nicole. How is
Wow,
everything?
thank you so much for that beautiful introduction. I'm here trying to take over the world from my home.
Fantastic. That's the future. We are doing everything from our homes now.
Yes. We
Nicole,
get to keep it a lot more intimate and keep it more real.
definitely. Nicole, first of all, did I pronounce your name correctly? Scherzinger.
Yes. Perfect. Scherzinger.
Tell me the funniest versions that you heard, because it's not an easy name to say.
I get Schwarzenegger all the time. Shirt swinger.
That's good.
um, yeah, I think for the most part people catch on. They do a pretty good job though.
Fantastic. I wanted to ask, as my first question, how are you dealing with the quarantine? I've been following you on Instagram, and I've seen that you've been very active and with great positivity and with a lot of energy. So, how are you dealing with all this process?
Well, if I'm honest, a lot of people don't know this about me, but I'm quite an introvert. So I'm kind of bred for self-isolation. So I'm actually in my most happy place right now because I don't have to leave my house. I'm normally bouncing around from country to country and nonstop. So I get to be in one place at one time and get to center and refocus and reconnect with everything. And I'm kind of loving it. My gym, I usually just use it for my glam room. So now I actually get to use it as a gym, all the workout equipment in there. I've been doing a lot of corn cleaning. Yeah, so my house is very organized. Everything, every drawer, the garage, every closet is perfectly organized, and it makes me feel like so much better that everything's in order. And just taking this time to do some self-reflection, meditation, and to be really creative. Like normally we're so busy and there's a lot of distractions and a lot of noise in our life. We can kind of really, like I said, realign ourselves and be like, okay, how could I get back to my purpose, my calling, and what am I supposed to create now from this
Mhm,
space?
mhm. And that reflects in what? In new music, in your acting, in.
Yeah, new music that I'm writing. I'm really excited to share with you all for myself and the Pussycat Dolls. And a couple projects that I'm really excited about, like more of fitness, wellness projects that I'm creating. I'm excited to share with you all soon as well. And writing like a script. Never done anything like that before, but yeah, just a few projects I've always wanted to do, but I've always procrastinated and had on the back burner. But now I have the time, so there's no excuse. And I'm
That's
becoming the queen of TED Talks. I get on my little stair climber and I watch all these motivational things or watch church, and it's awesome. It's a great way to like get all jacked up on life and your
Yeah,
purpose. So
and to learn new skills also, like you were saying, to learn things that you've never thought that you would have time to learn.
yes, what are some of those new skills that you've learned?
Well, I'm not very skillful, so I didn't learn that many. But you tell me what you've been doing besides all of this. One of the things that I think that it's super cool is your fitness videos.
Oh, yeah.
That I would have to learn from you.
Look, I can teach you that. That's easy. I have to have the fitness because it just gets your natural endorphins going, and it gets you. I actually work out for my frame of mind. It gets me in a positive headspace. It gets me, like I said, jacked up on life. So I really encourage. I've been either doing running, stair climber. I've been doing dance cardio. I've been doing a lot of HIIT training, where I try to make little circuits for myself, and yeah, high intensity, get the heart rate up, and so it's good.
What do you think that it will be the first thing that you will do after the quarantine is over? Like the first thing out of the house, what will you?
Eat at my favorite restaurants. I love food. There's nothing more that I love in life than going to my favorite restaurant and having just good company with friends and family. It just is my greatest joy. So I think my favorite restaurants, I'll go and visit those. I'll get to work out with my trainer again, go to a gym, and get back to work. Like we were supposed to be on tour right now with the Pussycat Dolls, so it's. I was so in the zone of creating this ultimate tour, and now everything's at a halt. So I'm just excited to get back into creating that and being with the girls.
Did you miss that part of the touring with the girls because the reunion happens after 10 years that you guys have not been working together? Do you miss that part of being on stage with all the elements of the group?
Yeah, that's a big part of the reason why we got back together during this whole, like, after this 10-year anniversary. I think it was just natural for us to go our separate ways. When we did, it was such an intense period of time. Nothing could prepare us for that. And we kind of got to go and grow and evolve as our, not only as our own artists, but our own humans and women. And it's been a few years in the making that we've been talking about getting back together, but wanted to make sure it was at the right time for in everyone's lives. And it is right now. I mean, um, yeah, we've come back. I feel, and the girls feel as well, stronger than ever. And we've come back, just with a message of love and acceptance and inclusivity, because it's something we've had to learn over the years for ourselves. Love, acceptance, and yeah,
I
self
can
acceptance. I mean.
I can imagine that when you guys decided to put the project on hold, it must have been a super tough decision, no? When everything was going so well and suddenly to stop and not knowing if what would be the future.
Yeah, I think that it happened naturally, like I said, it was so crazy. It was 7 years of like this chaos and no sleep in our schedule and touring everywhere. So I think it meant to happen at the time that it did. And then we all got to go do our own thing. I was blessed and fortunate enough to have a deal where I could go and do my own music and tour and learn and grow. And I know that girls each all wanted to do that. So.
Mhm. How did it feel when you got back to rehearsals and to be together after 10 years? How was that first moment when you guys got together?
Honestly, it was like no time had passed. It was crazy. We got in the room. It had been 10 years. I mean, that's a decade that we'd gotten together. And as soon as we put on the Buttons dance break, it just all clicked in and locked in. And it was all like stored in our, in our memories and in our bodies. And just felt great. Like I said, we'd really grown and evolved individually as artists and as women. And then to come back together and be so supportive and uplifting to each other, it felt better than ever, to be honest.
Yeah, and I have to say that as someone that has been following the Pussycat Dolls for all these years, it was the best thing that happened in 2020. Everyone was like, "Wow, they are back."
Oh, yay, thank you so much. That means so much to us. If I'm honest with you, we literally had 3 days to get that show together after we had not been together, because I was shooting two shows at the same time. I was shooting two different shows with Simon for X Factor and then making the band. So I had no time in my schedule. And literally we were like, we're going to do what? We're going to throw a jump. We're going to jump and fall off of this huge, like, high platform. And then I was like, I need water. I have to have water. I see the new modern version of Flashdance. We need water. And it was just crazy. And we had one take to do it in, and it was like the warrior, PCD warrior status came out in all of us girls. And we were like, we got this. This is living proof that we are stronger in numbers.
Were the fans asking for the reunion? Did you get a lot of like requests?
Oh my gosh, forever they were asking for the reunion. So that just really gave us the inspiration and the confidence as well to get us back, to get back together. I mean, you can't tour, you know, with an empty arena or stadium. So we're doing it for our fans as well. And also, not only I said it was the right time in our lives, but I was really excited to, in particular, to get back together with the girls, because I really wanted to enjoy it this time around. I think at that time I was a lot younger and I was so in my head a lot, and I was always thinking, what's the next best thing? What can we be doing? I didn't get to really enjoy it. So we're really looking forward to that.
Mhm. Tell me about the single that you guys released, the first one, React. What's the story behind this very catchy and clubby song that's everyone loved?
Yeah, you said it. Clubby song. You know, everybody knows PCD mainly for dance, and we wanted to stay true to our roots and have a song with a beat, a fat beat, and that you could dance to, and you know, your inner diva can come out too. But then we wanted to make sure that it was modern and today's sound. So I love the song. I think it's very edgy, like the Dolls, and it's taking back the power and the control as women. So yeah, and it's just it's playful, it's flirty, it's fun, and sometimes we like to, you know, spice
But
things up and get a reaction out of our.
I felt bad for the guy that was being so nice and
But why they get to be with this?
good, good. That sounds like a good deal.
Got to keep
Uh,
them. You got to keep them on their toes sometimes. No.
exactly.
Yin and
Um, you were one of the co-writers of the song, correct?
Yeah, the song was pretty much done. It was a beautiful song. I was a big fan of it and I loved it and I recorded it. And usually when I have a song and I'm inspired by a song, I make my own tweaks. And so, yeah, I got the liberty to do that. And that was awesome.
Cool. I wanted to ask about your fashion style and the brands that you love. I know that you wore some Arab designers in the past, Ashi Studio, Giorgio Baker, Youssef Al Jazmi. So can you tell me a little bit about your fashion sense? How do you style yourself? If you see that there's an evolution in the things that you now love that you didn't love before?
First of all, I just want to thank you for saying those names for me, because some of the names I'm big fans of, but I just don't know how to pronounce. um, my style is very diverse because I wear many hats with what I do, right? So whether I'm on TV, in my TV shows and doing like fine casual chic or dressing glammed up, singing concerts with Andrea Bocelli, getting all dolled up in my dance warrior attire with the Pussycat dolls, or whether I'm like trampolining around to different airports in the world. It's always forever changing. But I think that for me, it's just whatever fits my mood, whatever fits the different characters of Nicole that I tap into. But I've always got to keep it, you know, something very feminine, but also very edgy, and something very casual, but also something that brings out the confidence in me.
Yeah, I feel that for your red carpet, you became more minimalist. I see now that the dresses are more simple. Before they had more volume. Now it's more kind of like clean cuts. Do you feel this transformation or not
I'm
really?
trying to go for more. Um, I've got an awesome stylist, Jessica Pastor, and just I try to keep things true to me, like I said, with a little bit of edge, but I'm wanting it to be very less is more and very classic and chic. So I'm very detailed with the hair and the makeup. Less is more, and you know, classic and chic.
Do you take a lot of time getting ready, or you are just like someone that does it fast?
I when I focus, I can get ready really fast. I mean, today I got ready in about 30 minutes, right? But if you give me all the time in the world, I'll use all the time in the world. If you give me 4 hours, I'll use that 4 hours. I'll be extra zhuzh, but I can get it together fast if I have to.
Not taken. So next time will be half an hour again, so that we don't have 4 hours for you. Nicole, I wanted to ask you about the way that you grew up and about your early days. When did you find this call to become an entertainer?
Well, I was born in Hawaii. Have you ever been to Hawaii?
Not yet.
The beautiful islands of Hawaii. I was born in Hawaii, but then my mother had me at a very young age, and she raised me on her own. So I grew up in Louisville, Kentucky. Um, and that was funny to be a little island girl to go from there to the South here in the States, right? Um, and I was really kind of awkward and shy and lanky as a child, but there was one thing that really spoke to me, and that was music. And I think around the age of 6, I heard The Greatest Love of All from Whitney Houston, and that changed my life. Her voice was just like the voice of God to me. And I knew that's what I wanted to do, was to sing. I didn't really know how to communicate well speaking because I was so shy, but I knew how to communicate better through song and through music. So, after that, I grew up very humble beginnings, but I let my voice kind of guide me and lead me, and then went to a performing arts school where I got to work on my craft and learn more classical music because I was a first soprano. And yeah, and then I joined a rock band, and then I joined this pop band called Pop Stars, and then Pussycat Dolls, and here we are today with a lot of other stuff in between. I've got a very musical theater background as well.
How was the beginning of the Pussycat Dolls?
It was it was crazy. They were having auditions for this group, and they had been searching for months trying to put this group together, the Pussycat Dolls, this recording group. It had already pre-existed as like a more cabaret burlesque dance group at Johnny Depp's Viper Room here on Sunset. I'm pointing because I live off of Sunset, and I'm pointing because I can see it right now up here in the hills. And yeah, I came in at the last hour, and they were the last ones to see me. They weren't expecting, the auditions were actually over with, and I had heard about the auditions, and I came in, and yeah, the rest is history.
That
It was perfect for me because I had such a strong singing and dance background, coming from such a theatrical performing arts school. So it was great because I got to bridge put the two worlds together. And I was looking for a deal at the time, a music deal. I had made a little package that I put together with a music video and songs that I had written. And I just needed, I needed a shot. I needed, so, and that was it.
is the scene, the music scene, as competitive as people think that it is? Is it really hard to get that first opportunity, that first contract?
I mean, it is. I think this day and age, there's pros and cons. I think it's a lot easier because we have the World Wide Web now. We have the internet. So there's so many different platforms for people to showcase their talents, whether it's these reality shows from X Factor to The Voice or American Idol, to have that opportunity to be seen, or putting themselves on YouTube, or all these amazing platforms that they can showcase and share their talents, their true authentic talents. But then because of that, there's an oversaturation and there's so much stuff. So it's kind of hard to sift through and find the little diamonds in the roughs.
I have a couple of friends of mine that previously worked as models, and they tried to break into the entertainment industry. and it's almost like not acceptable that they are so beautiful. You know, people think, oh, she's beautiful, so she's probably not talented, and she's only here for the looks. Since you are such a beautiful woman, did you also suffer from this kind of
I think that the cream always rises to the top. So if you're just relying on your looks, sometimes that works, but maybe people want other things. And if you are talented, then it will prevail. There's so many gorgeous women. I mean, in my industry, Beyonce for me is like a model. Alicia Keys is like a model. Ariana Grande, Taylor Swift. All these girls are just beautiful. Rihanna, J Lo. So I think that if that's all you're relying on, then people will see that, and they'll need to see like if that's like they want more dimension or not, or other layers. And I think that if you have more to share and to showcase with your talents, then that, like I said, the cream will rise to the top, and you just have to put that forward, and
what
showcase who you really are. And for me, it was always singing first. So um, I I came out of my mama's womb singing.
what would be your advice for our young audience that wants to break in the music industry? What would you advise them to start by doing?
I think that just it's so simple. Just be true to yourself. Know your
Study,
worth. Huh?
study.
Oh, honey, I haven't even gotten to that. Exactly. Study, hone your craft, whatever it is, master whatever it is that you desire in your heart and that you want to go for. Study and work and work and work, because yes, your work in the end will speak for itself. And in the end, it's everybody wants to do it. Everybody wants to be all this and all that, but it's who's willing to work as hard, who wants it enough that they're willing to make those sacrifices, that they're willing to be the best at what they do, and to know their worth. Don't compromise, and like I said, stay true to yourself, and give yourself that time to continuously evolve and grow.
Mhm. As the last question, I wanted to ask you about your work with UNICEF. Uh, how are you working with the organization? Which are the causes that you feel more uh, closer to?
Yeah, I am a global ambassador for UNICEF. I've had the blessing of taking many trips with them around the world to work with underprivileged children, and hopefully to make a difference in that way. And I'm not going to lie, those were some of the most life-changing, hardest things I've ever done. Being on the ground, working with these kids, whether they were my kids from Kenya coming from the streets of Nairobi, the slums of Nairobi, to working with my special needs kids in Ghana. Um, I really think that we are all here for a great purpose, and it's our job to be there for each other, and to if you have a platform like this, to have a voice. Like, you know, during this time, we all realize how much we really do need to be there for each other. And yeah, so I think it's important to help our youth and to empower our youth and to do everything that we can for the children, the underprivileged children out there in the world. I'm also a global ambassador for Special Olympics. It's something very dear to my heart, growing up with my aunt who is Down syndrome. So that brings a lot of joy and light into my life. And I feel very strong about anti-human trafficking and anti-human sex trafficking. I think it's so important for us to educate ourselves more on that and to try to eradicate that, because a lot of people we turn a blind eye to, because we realize we don't want, it's not even conceivable what's happening, the darkness and the evil that's happening out there with sex trafficking with these young tiny children around the world, and human trafficking. You know, slavery is more apparent now more than ever, and so I think it's our job to educate ourselves what's really going on, and really try to see what we can do um, to eradicate it. Sorry, I get very passionate.
Fantastic. With this beautiful message, we end our conversation today. I have to say that it was a pleasure to see you again and to have this lovely conversation. And please continue the incredible music. Oh, yesterday, 2 days ago, I saw on your Instagram that Doncha is 15 years old.
Babe, where does the time go?
I know you like me. Sing a little bit for us,
Oh,
please.
babe, I know you like me. Uh, uh, I know you do. That's why whenever I come around, she's all over you. It's early here in LA, y'all. Good morning. It's that morning voice.
Bravo. Thank you very much. Have a nice day. Thank
You
you.
too. Good to see you. God bless you.